What if I told you that something as fundamental as how you breathe could be silently driving your blood pressure higher without you even noticing? Most people I've worked with over the years are shocked to learn this, but research from the American Heart Association reveals that shallow chest breathing, the way most of us breathe unconsciously throughout the day, can actually trigger your body's stress response, releasing cortisol and adrenaline that constrict your blood vessels and elevate pressure readings. You're likely breathing this way right now while watching this video, and here's what's happening inside your body. Your sympathetic nervous system stays in overdrive, your heart works harder than it needs to, and your arteries remain tense. This creates a vicious cycle where stress feeds high blood pressure, and high blood pressure feeds more stress. But slow diaphragmatic breathing, also called belly breathing, works differently. When you breathe deeply and slowly from your diaphragm rather than your chest, you activate your parasympathetic nervous system, which acts like a master reset button for your cardiovascular system. This single shift triggers your vagus nerve to signal your heart to slow down, your blood vessels to relax, and your kidneys to release less of the hormones that raise blood pressure. Clinical trials published in the Journal of Hypertension found that patients practicing diaphragmatic breathing for just 10 minutes twice daily experienced systolic blood pressure reductions averaging 8 to 10 points within 8 weeks, results comparable to some medications without a single pill. Here's the mechanism that makes this so powerful. When you breathe slowly and deeply, filling your lungs from the bottom up, you increase oxygen delivery to every cell while simultaneously reducing carbon dioxide retention that can stress your vascular system. Your heart doesn't have to pump as forcefully, your arterial walls soften, and the pressure inside your vessels naturally drops. It's like releasing a vice grip that's been squeezing your circulatory system for years. Now, you might be wondering how something so simple could genuinely move the needle on a condition as serious as hypertension. The truth is, hundreds of people I've guided through this technique initially felt the same skepticism until they saw their own numbers drop. One patient, Chun, a 62-year-old retired teacher from Ohio, had been struggling with readings consistently hovering around 155/95 despite taking 2 medications. She felt exhausted, anxious, and frustrated that nothing seemed to help. After I taught her proper diaphragmatic breathing, and she committed to practicing it twice daily for just 8 weeks, her systolic pressure dropped to 138, and her diastolic fell to 88. She told me it felt like her body had finally learned to relax again. Stories like hers aren't rare. They're the predictable result of consistently engaging your body's natural relaxation mechanisms. But here's what makes diaphragmatic breathing especially valuable for seniors. Unlike most interventions that require expensive equipment, doctor visits, or complicated protocols, this costs nothing and can be done anywhere, anytime. The Cleveland Clinic recommends starting with sessions of 5 to 10 minutes twice daily, gradually building to 15 minutes as the technique becomes more natural. You don't need a gym membership, special clothing, or even much physical space, just a quiet spot where you can sit or lie comfortably. To practice correctly, place one hand on your chest and the other on your belly. As you inhale slowly through your nose for a count of 4, focus on making only your belly hand rise while your chest hand stays relatively still. Hold briefly, then exhale slowly through your mouth for a count of 6 to 8, feeling your belly fall. The longer exhale is crucial. It's during this phase that your vagus nerve sends the strongest calming signals to your heart and blood vessels. While diaphragmatic breathing offers profound benefits for anyone dealing with elevated blood pressure, it's particularly well suited for individuals whose hypertension stems from chronic stress, anxiety, or shallow breathing patterns that have developed over years of sedentary work or high-pressure lifestyles. If you've been living with tension headaches, racing thoughts, or that constant feeling of being wound too tight, this technique targets the root cause of your elevated readings. However, the next exercise we'll explore tackles high blood pressure from an entirely different angle, one that strengthens your vascular system itself, and is especially powerful for those whose pressure spikes during physical activity or who need to rebuild cardiovascular resilience from the ground up. Wall-sit isometric holds. The beauty of isometric exercise lies in what happens when your muscles contract without actually moving, a phenomenon that creates surprising cardiovascular benefits most people never associate with staying perfectly still. When you perform a wall sit, pressing your back against a wall with your thighs parallel to the floor and holding that position, your leg muscles generate tremendous, sustained tension without shortening or lengthening. This creates a unique physiological response. Your muscles demand increased blood flow to sustain the contraction, but because they're not moving, that blood doesn't get pumped back to your heart as quickly as it would during dynamic exercise like walking or jogging. Your cardiovascular system responds by increasing nitric oxide production in your arterial walls, a molecule that acts as a powerful natural vasodilator, essentially telling your blood vessels to relax and widen. A groundbreaking 2023 meta-analysis published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine, which reviewed data from over 16,000 participants across 270 trials, found that isometric exercise reduced systolic blood pressure by an average of 8.24 millimeters of mercury and diastolic pressure by 4 millimeters, making it more effective than traditional aerobic exercise, dynamic resistance training, or even high-intensity interval training for lowering resting blood pressure. These aren't marginal improvements. For many people I've worked with, reductions of this magnitude have meant the difference between needing medication and managing their condition through lifestyle alone. The mechanism is beautifully elegant. As you hold the wall sit position, blood pools slightly in your working muscles, triggering your body to release substances that open your blood vessels not just during the exercise, but for hours afterward. Your arterial walls become more flexible, your endothelial function improves, and the baseline pressure in your vascular system drops. If you're wondering whether you have time to add another exercise to an already busy day, let me share something that surprises almost everyone I've taught this technique to. Wall sits require just 8 to 12 minutes total per session, 3 times per week, to produce measurable blood pressure reductions. That's less time than it takes to watch a single YouTube video, yet the cardiovascular benefits compound week after week. You don't need to change clothes, drive to a gym, or even break a sweat, though your legs will definitely feel the burn. The practicality is one reason this exercise has become so popular among seniors who've struggled to maintain consistent workout routines. Here's exactly how to perform a proper wall sit. Stand with your back against a smooth wall, feet shoulder-width apart, and about 2 feet from the wall. Slide down until your thighs are parallel to the floor and your knees are bent at 90 degrees, as if sitting in an invisible chair. Your back should remain flat against the wall, your core engaged, and your weight distributed through your heels. Hold this position for 2 minutes, rest for 2 minutes, then repeat for a total of 4 sets. If 2 minutes feels impossible at first, and for most beginners it does, start with whatever duration you can manage, even if it's just 30 seconds, and gradually build up week by week. Research from the University of Saskatchewan suggests that even shorter holds performed consistently still deliver significant blood pressure benefits, so there's no shame in starting small. The key is maintaining proper form and pushing yourself to that point of muscle fatigue where your legs are trembling and your mind is telling you to quit. That's exactly where the cardiovascular magic happens. Before I share more about who benefits most from this technique, if you're new to the Health Waiver community and would love free access to tailored health tips designed specifically for seniors just like you, I'd be honored if you'd subscribe to our channel. Also, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. How old are you, and how has your health been treating you lately? Your experiences help us create content that truly serves your needs. One gentleman, Martinez, a 58-year-old construction supervisor from Texas, had struggled with blood pressure readings around 148/92 for nearly 3 years. His job kept him active, but his pressure stayed stubbornly high, and he was frustrated that traditional cardio wasn't making a dent. After incorporating wall sits 3 times weekly for just 6 weeks, his systolic dropped to 134, and his diastolic fell to 85, numbers his doctor called remarkable. He mentioned that simplicity was what made it sustainable. He could do his sets during lunch breaks at work, and the visible leg strength he gained was an unexpected bonus that motivated him to stay consistent. His story reflects what the research consistently shows. Isometric holds create adaptations in your vascular system that persist long after the exercise ends. While wall sits are suitable for most adults looking to lower their blood pressure naturally, they're especially powerful for individuals whose hypertension coexists with poor lower body strength, limited mobility, or joint issues that make traditional aerobic exercise painful or impossible. If you've been told you need to exercise more but find running or even brisk walking too hard on your knees, hips, or back, wall sits offer a way to strengthen your cardiovascular system without the impact of stress. We've just explored 2 scientifically backed exercises that can significantly lower your blood pressure without medication: slow diaphragmatic breathing that calms your nervous system and resets your cardiovascular response, and wall sit isometric holds that strengthen your vascular system and improve arterial flexibility. The beautiful truth is you don't need to master both at once. Start with whichever feels more accessible to you, build consistency, and then layer in the second for even greater results. These aren't temporary fixes, they're sustainable habits that support long-term health and independence. So here's my question for you. Which of these 2 exercises surprised you most, and which one will you try first? If you found this helpful, please subscribe so you never miss our evidence-based health tips for seniors, and drop a comment below letting me know where you're watching from and what health topics you'd like us to cover next. Thank you so much for being part of the Health Waver community and for taking your health seriously. I'll see you in the next video.